one of the toughest decisions that I had to make. Before coming to AES, it was quite unexpected that I would ever come to live in India. But attending AES was suddenly added to my list of other options for my unplanned future. However, from the moment that I decided to attend AES, it was nervous, anxious, and worried. However, just after the first welcoming day of school, I knew that I had made the right decision. AES has provided me with so much to be thankful for. Supportive teachers, friendly and amazing classmates, and the opportunity to learn valuable lessons. My 4 years at AES have been unforgettable years, and I'm sure that the class of 2015 feels the same way about their own experiences at AES. Our valuable memories that we have shared together at this school will remain with us forever. The lessons of our teachers and the help of our faculty and staff will also guide us even after we leave AES. Every one of us deserves a pat on the back for making it this far. We entered to learn, and we are now leaving to serve. Thank you.
The tradition of our AES graduation exercise is the lighting of the year. The light symbolizes knowledge which will illuminate and enlighten us. At this time, I would like to invite our 5 members of class council to come forward and light the diya. Shivani Dharmadikari, Selena Everett, Olivia Haskell, Keshav Jayaraman, and Adi Kumar. Now, I would like to invite Anna Renderson, the student speaker, to the podium.
Parents, teachers, friends, and of course, my fellow graduates, it is an honor to speak to you all tonight at the class of 2015's graduation. Looking at the amazing talent, compassion, and intelligence of my peers that are on stage with me this evening, I must admit that I had a very difficult time trying to craft this speech. In fact, while I was trying to think of what on earth I could possibly say to my peers as we embark on the next great stage of our lives, I was completely clueless as to what I was going to say. For about 3.5 weeks, I pretty much stared at a blank piece of paper every day, hoping that magically a speech would appear before me, which unfortunately didn't happen. I talked about ideas of what I could say with my parents and friends, waiting for that one concept that would inspire me to write this. And throughout the process, I thought that maybe I could talk about the immensity of this change in our lives or the promise that all of our futures hold for us. I could speak about the new challenges and obstacles that we'll face and overcome in the coming years. I could even speak about how this school, AES, has changed many of us for the better, including myself. And each of these topics is worthy of its own speech. But ultimately, the only words that came to my mind when I finally put a pen to paper were about the qualities that I've already seen and know to exist within the group of students you see on stage before you. Essentially, a speech about what I admire most of my classmates. After all, no matter who you personally came to see this evening, no matter who your camera is aimed on, I think you will agree that this is a very special group of individuals. One of the things that has always astounded me about my class and the AES community in general is their ability to enter into friendships and make lasting and meaningful connections with others in mere moments. In this revolving door international culture, connecting with another person happens quickly, as I'm sure you've all experienced. One moment, you'll see a new kid sitting in the library, and then a few months later, it's as if you've been friends for years. For example, I got to know my upstairs neighbor in 9th grade biology class one day, and from that day onwards, he's been one of my best friends. Many of my closest friends over the years I've met on the first day of school, and then 8 months later, as May rolls around, I can't really recall how long I've known them for. I'm sure if you ask any one of these soon-to-be graduates how he or she met their friends, each person will have a similar experience. But it's not just that the class of 2015 can make friends quickly. That's not necessarily what I'm trying to say. There are many people that can make a friend or two pretty quickly. But what I really think is most poignant about these students' ability to connect with one another is the mutual respect, appreciation, and understanding of differing perspectives. No matter how much I disagree with my peers or they disagree with me, no matter on what topic, it's our similarities as well as our differences that are highlighted in our friendships. While graduating high school tonight is exciting and special, I will certainly miss the fast friendships and true connections I know all of us have made these past years. A second quality that I admire in my class is slightly different. It's their drive. Luckily, I've had the chance to be surrounded by peers that are some of the most committed and ambitious people I've ever met. Many are driven in their academic abilities and goals, striving to learn more on a daily basis. In others, I see a passion for the fine arts and athletics through our school plays, art exhibitions, and sporting events. The class of 2015 is also driven in the desire to better the world in whatever way they can. Even outside of organized clubs, it seems that many of my classmates have an inherent desire to see and make change in both small and big ways. Whether it be crafting an art installation that exposes the backwards nature of beauty standards, pushing boundaries in a theater project, or running a charity drive for a good cause. There are countless ways I see my classmates strive to change our world for the better. No matter in what ways students decide to pursue their passions, in the arts, service, or academics, one thing is certainly clear. There is an astounding culture of contribution within our community and the class of 2015. I realize now that as I stared at a blank piece of paper for 3.5 weeks, desperately hoping for a speech to appear before me, all I was thinking of were these huge, intangible ideas. I guess I wanted to say something monumental in a way, to match the nature of the change we're going through. But I realized that what I wanted to talk about was right in front of me, every day at school, in my classes, in my service clubs, and of course, on stage tonight. I feel so grateful to be part of this group of classmates because of their ability to connect and empathize with those around them, and their unwavering drive and desire to contribute positively to the world. Now, I know I've probably made that clear since I've just spent the better part of 5 minutes talking about how great this class is, but in my words of admiration, I don't mean to insinuate that we are by any means perfect people or role models for the rest of the world. I'm not suggesting that we have nowhere to grow or improve, because certainly that isn't the case. We are only at the beginning of our adult lives, and we have our fair share of mistakes to make and learn from. What I am trying to say is that the ways in which I admire you all, class of 2015, will not stop at this junction in our lives. I've seen the ways we can connect with one another and the world. I know that we can create change in both big and small ways. I've seen our compassion, and I've seen our drive. But there will always be words of kindness that will remain unspoken unless we choose to say them, and acts of compassion that will never be done unless we choose to act upon them. I have no doubt that such words will be said, and such deeds will be acted upon as we start this new chapter in our lives. Thank you. to the podium my good friend and the next student speaker, Vikia Simon.
Hey everyone, good evening. I just wanted to say I'm standing here and I have this privilege because on behalf of my students they have selected me to stand up here and speak. And I don't think it's because I have some profound ideas about the future, college, or the things beyond. It's just probably because they know how much I love talking. So as I stand up here for about 5 minutes, I can talk through the thoughts I'm having and see if it strikes a chord with any of you. I know for me at least, the past year seems to have started ages ago, and it also feels like it began yesterday. And yes, English teachers, I just used an antithesis to describe our senior year, and we know our literary devices after IB exams. I was expecting a little more on that one. On a more serious note, I want to say a lot of things will change. We won't have novels smiling at us every time we decide that we want a lemonade during morning break, or defenders slyly sneaking in notes in our classrooms anymore. There are countless little things that AES has brought to us that is coming to an end with tonight. The finality of it all is what I'm struggling with. The thought that I can't relish in the last moments, to be frankly honest, because they're already happened. As senior year started, little by little we completed our last